Your book is the perfect spark to get the fire going in your personal life, career, business, or ministry. Light that book spark today.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's World Book and Copyright Day for 2023. And I'm your host, C. Ruth Taylor. I'm a Jamaican entrepreneur and the Caribbean ambassador for the Alliance of Independent Publishers. In short, that is ALLi. It's your ally. And as part of my duty, I want to bring attention on this special day to what is happening among independent publishers, self-publishers around the world. Does it really pay to publish? Are independent authors making any money? Are they successful? What is the data showing? And what can we learn from the data? So I'll be presenting on that. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint slide. And if you are watching on the replay, tell us, what are you doing for World Book and Copyright Day? How many books have you published? You can drop that in the comments. This broadcast will also be repurposed for the Entrepreneur Secrets podcast. All right, so I'm going to share my PowerPoint and get into it. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat and I'll respond to the questions. The presentation is going to be about 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'll open the floor for questions. So we should be out of here in half an hour. And then next month, I am going to do another presentation on six-figure authors. What are they doing to earn six figures? And then in that month, then I will tell you what the next presentation will be about. So I'm going to be doing these monthly awareness sessions and encourage you to join the Alliance of Independent Authors. So let's get to the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you for joining. It's good to have you. And I trust at the end of this, you'll go to the ALLi page and check out what's happening there. All right. So let's get into the presentation. One second, I think I have maybe the wrong slide up. But we can start with that one. Self-publishing facts and figures. Did you know that self-published authors earn more than authors who are traditionally published? Yes. Younger authors are making self-publishing their first choice. And of course, in the Caribbean, self-publishing is also our first choice. And you know, my dream is to see the Caribbean become the home of independent publishing. 93% of indie authors asked were somewhat or extremely positive in relation to their perception of self-publishing. Self-published authors made over 50% of Kindle's top 400 books for 2023. Women and the LGBTQIA plus authors are highly successful in publishing. Now, did any of that surprise you? Let me know in the chat. And then I'm going to switch screen. All right, so we know for many years, traditional publishing was it, right? And if you weren't publishing traditionally, then you weren't considered much of a real author. And so it is good to get these statistics. And many times the statistics that you read about in terms of what's happening in publishing, they are not necessarily based on what is happening in the self-publishing or independent publishing space. So let's try again to see if I can actually get the real PowerPoint to appear. And let's get into the presentation. All right, here we go. All right, so again, it's World Book and Copyright Day. and I'm representing the Alliance of Independent Authors, bringing awareness to the Caribbean about their work and how ALLi can support you. And we're answering the question from the big data drop for 2023. Does it really pay to write? How much are self-published authors or independent authors really earning? And those who are doing well, who are they? What's responsible for their success? What does the author income look like? So if you're new to ALLi, ALLi started in 2012, and I started my publishing journey in 2014, published the first book in 2015. So ALLi, so it's ALLi, pronounced as ALLi, like your friend. Its mission is to foster excellence and ethics in self-publishing. It's the largest nonprofit organization in support of independent authors. So we empower authors through community and collaboration, author forums, contract advice, sample agreements, contacts and networking, literacy, agency representation, and we also have a member care desk. We advise through our self-publishing advice center, and they have blogs, a lot of guidebooks that will help you if you're new to self-publishing or want to become an entrepreneur. ALLi monitors the self-publishing sector, so they have a watchdog and they have an approved partner program. My company, Bamboo Sparks, is an approved partner publishing services provider. So if you're checking out if a publishing services company is legitimate, ALLi can help you in that. And they also run campaigns and advocate for independent authors throughout the self-publishing and creative industries globally. So if you are having any problem with Amazon or having any kind of issue, you can get representation through ALLi. Now, I've been throwing around the word self-publishing. And many times, especially in the Caribbean, we think it's just you doing all the work. That's not how we are using it, right? And there are different routes to it. When we talk about self-publishing as opposed to traditional publishing, it's really about you footing all the expenses for the publication process. So even if you hire a company or an individual to do it for you, once you are footing all the bill, then it's a form of self-publishing. So you have the one book self-publisher not intending to write for a living or publish lots of books. Then you have an indie author adopting an independent creative mindset, setting creative and commercial intentions, not just for their writing, but also for book production and marketing. And then ALLi has a third level called the entrepreneur. You're running a successful author business. I'm an entrepreneur. I run an author business, not just in publishing books, but I have other programs built around my book. ALLi says the entrepreneur has mastered 3 different set of skills: writing good books, publishing them well, and running an author business, which is a significant creative and commercial achievement. And that member is recognized as a top tier, author membership, entrepreneur members. So I'm an entrepreneur. My only distinction there in terms of how we use entrepreneurship in the entrepreneurs group and in my book, Entrepreneur Secrets, you don't even have to master the writing or the publishing, because you can get others to do that for you. But you do need to build a business with your book or around your book. So you're blending the creative and the commercial. You need to become an author entrepreneur. All right. So I said in the beginning that many times the studies, when you hear about publishing, that the independent authors many times are not represented in those studies. One of the reasons is that many self-published writers, when you're publishing your book, especially if you're publishing the ebook, you know that the ISBN on Amazon, for example, is optional. So if you don't have an ISBN, it cannot be tracked, because that's the International Standard Book Number that is also used to track your sales. All right, so your achievements are under the radar. Self-published can cover everyone from a person who created a single book for their family to authors who have built a whole business around their writing, right? So this is why this data that I'm sharing today is so important. I shared this one already, that believe it or not, self-published authors earn more than those who are traditionally published. So those who are trad published, whether it's the Big Five, the HarperCollins, the Penguin Random House, not everybody's going to get a big deal like Michelle Obama, over $60 million, right? Many are getting like $5,000 advances, 100,000 advances, and less. So if you're not an A-lister, if you don't have a significant platform, it's kind of hard to get hefty advance, and that is not paid to you all at once. And then the percentage of royalties after you out earn the advance is maybe like between 5 and 20%. And so it's really difficult to make a living with your writing that way. But because it is more esteemed and prized, people still go for it, and it's hard to get it. And there used to be a stigma attached to self-publishing. In some spheres, it is still there, but we've come a long way. So did you know that indie authors today can self-publish in almost 200 countries around the globe in different formats, including the hardback, paperback, ebooks, and audiobooks? And that's because the different platforms that you can partner with allow you to go in to different countries. For example, if you publish through Ingram Spark, that has a network of about 40,000 bookstores that you can tap into. Kobo also has a wide network, and of course Amazon is in different countries and has different publishing partners. So books by indie authors account for 30 to 34% of all ebook sales in the largest English language markets, and that was by Publishers Weekly. A study by Fictional found that women wrote just 39% of traditionally published titles, but 67% of self-published titles. Self-published author Honor Ross, the UK's best-selling series of all time, outranking Harry Potter, and she has celebrated, L.J. Ross, has celebrated 8 million books sold. She wasn't backed by a big traditional publishing house. That's her in charge of it. No, this is a big one. For many years, self-published authors, many of the literary competitions were not open to us. But here are some major literary awards that welcome indies. Now, indies is short for independent authors. The Arnold Bennett Prize, the Arthur C. Clarke Award, and the Commonwealth Book Prize, Rathbones Folio Prize, lots of them. Even the Pulitzer is now open to independent authors. And of course, the Romantic Novelists Association Awards. We have come a far way. Now, more than 2,000 self-published authors have surpassed $100,000 in royalties. That was an Amazon report in 2022. Now, I would like to find out what those authors are doing. And in our next broadcast, I'm going to share that, because I would love to be a six-figure, author by just selling books, I can see how that is achievable if you go the authorpreneur route easily. But we'll find out. So the Indie Author Income Survey for 2023, and I told you about who ALLi is already. And why we did the income survey, because we were underrepresented. So all the author surveys in terms of traditional publishing in countries like the UK, US, Canada, and Australia show author income declining over time and currently resting somewhere between 6,000 to 8,000 on average, with Australia doing better at 12,000. But those statistics are not representative of our industry. because the data focused primarily on traditional publishing. I think I've said that a couple times, right? So ALLi decided to do its own study and hired professionals to help with that, because accurate market data is good, for decision making. And having accurate data allows ALLi to strive for excellence and ethics in self-publishing. So indie sales are hard to register many times because we don't have ISBN. Multiple sales platforms are used both online and offline, and some books are not given ISBNs. So ALLi needed to talk to its authors directly. The survey focused only on indie authors. 20 questions were asked, short questions. I participated, but there is no region here for Caribbean and Latin America, so I had to go under North America, which is sometimes where we are lumped, even in international research and reports. Participants were those whose primary occupation was publishing, defined as spending 50% or more of their working time on writing and publishing activities. Third-party analysts used for independent, objective evaluation of results. So I told you they got professionals. So these were the research analysts. Thad McElroy, they hired him, and he's the president of the Future of Self-Publishing and a contributing editor to Publishers Weekly. And they hired Steve Seek, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, an accomplished strategy consulting and marketing professional. And he works as an analyst consultancy at the SKS Advisors. So we get the backdrop. Who were the respondents? A wide range of partners. So the survey garnered 2,539 respondents, of whom 2,261, 89% met the qualification criteria. 82% completed the survey. So just a little below 1,850. 60% of the survey respondents were in North America, 21% in the UK, followed by Australia, New Zealand, Europe, each representing about 8%. One of these days, we need to do a survey of the Caribbean itself to see how our authors are doing. All right. I know there have been surveys in terms of the creative industry, but, just self-published authors in general in the Caribbean, that would be good. All right. So let's get into the core findings. So the median writing and self-publishing revenue in 2022 was on average about 12,000 US, which was a 53% increase over the previous year. All right. So on average, they're saying that the self-published authors are earning like 12,749 US per year. All right. 53% of them. 20% earned between or up to $1,000. 8.7% up to $2,500 for the year. 1.2% earning six figures. All right. So indie author incomes are higher than trade published authors or traditionally published authors, and it is increasing. I've said that many times. So that is the main outcome of the survey. So even if you don't watch everything, I've said that several times so that you can bear that in mind. So if you're thinking and wondering, should I go into this? Can I earn any money? Other authors are doing it, and success leaves clues, so we can learn from them. So 43.8 recorded revenue over 20,000 US dollars. 28% over 50,000 US dollars. In the Jamaican context, you're looking at 20,000 is over $2 million, right? 50,000 is probably close to, that's more than $5 million they're earning. And in the median, I said before, so 60% of the respondents indicated that their self-publishing income had increased in the past year. Only 17% said their income had declined. And that was potentially because of COVID, right? So 50% were earning based on time spent on publishing related activities. So it's not just selling the book. Some authors told us that they were already making 12,000 a year with less than 50% of their time invested in that. All right. So where the income of self-published authors is increasing. All right. So traditionally published author incomes are low and falling. If you look in Australia, it's 12,120. Remember, ours on average is 12,749. In 2022, Authors Licensing Society there in the UK, on average, the traditionally published authors are making like 8,600 for the year. And it's now what, 7,000, so it's down. When the survey was done, it used to be 6,990 Canadian. It was down, and then the Authors Guild, you know, it's down. All right, and so the self-publishing community is growing, right? 60% of self-published author respondents had published their first book during the past 8 years. That includes me, because my first book came out January 2015, right? And a full 25% since 2020, indicating the ongoing vitality of their books. So things started really taking off for us around about 2015. Prolific authors. So how many books are self-published authors writing? Because in my book, Penny to Win, I talk about one book is not enough, right? I was struggling to make a living with just selling one book. And that's what led me to now create a business, because just selling the book wasn't enough. So over half of self-published authors had published more than 10 books, and 20% had published more than 30. So I'm close to 30, right? I'm working on book number 30 now. And so we're in line with that. How many books have you published? Drop that in the chat. Let me see what percentage you fall into. If you're 2 to 4, that's 19%. 6%, one would have published like one book. Over 30 books, 21% of those in the survey had published over 30 books. Now, when you look at, if you want the full data, it's a 32-page report. And if you type yes in the comments when the broadcast is finished, I'm going to drop the link. Or when I finish showing the slides, I can find the link and share it so you can get the full report. So romance tops the chart. The romance writers are making the most of the money. And I just ventured into romance, and our narrative nonfiction is less than 1%, which is where a lot of us fall in the Caribbean. Or general nonfiction, 3.39%. So most of the money, who are the authors making most of the money? Apparently, the authors are making most of the money from ebooks, which is interesting because most of the authors that I know, including myself in the Caribbean, we make most of our money from print books. In fact, I remember when I read Carissa Second Chance is only in ebook format now. And there were persons who didn't want it, they want the print book. So although self-published authors showcase a range of business models, marketing approaches, and a wide development of new formats and products, the majority of their attention and revenue was focused on books in various formats, not my entrepreneur model. So those of you who just want to sell books, you don't want to build no business around the book, you need to find out what these authors are doing. So print on demand accounted for 88%. So that is when you print through Amazon. You're not printing in bulk and putting them down, but as people need them, that's 88%. Not bad. 95% though through ebooks, and then translations, and then my specialty here, the memberships or subscription. About 8% are doing that. All right. So most of the money comes from books, as I just said. And the top 10 selling genres are romance, fantasy, mystery, thrillers, women's fiction, and those in non-fiction out there, which is what a lot of us do, or memoirs. Christian. See, there are Christian books. A lot of my authors are Christian. So Christian books fall in the top 10. Hooray. So we are doing well as well. So if you're a Christian and want to write, you have some encouragement there. All right. So the big question in closing is, what contributes to the author's success? Kingston is hot, right? Closely matching data from another company. This is a marketing company, Written Word Media. Self-published authors were both writing a lot of books and using marketing tools like Reader Magnet, which is you give away a free book to encourage readers to sign up. Now, if you have one book, you're not going to give away the book, or you may just have a couple of days within the 90-day window, like on KDP, that you sell it for $99, the ebook. And so that helped to bring, trustworthiness. They can read your material. Or in Jamaica, we say taste and buy. You may want to create a PDF or write a short story to just give away. So these authors who are successful with selling their books, right? They like to give away things for free. Sometimes when I bring that up, my authors struggle with it and they don't want to do it. So that thing of building up a mailing list, meaning you're collecting emails and you're going to build a community and you're going to share updates with them and that kind of thing. I find many of my Caribbean authors don't want to do that, but the authors who are making the big bucks, that's what they are doing. And they create free, useful resources to give away so that people can come in their mailing list. For example, I give away the Rocket Writer ebook. You can get it on Amazon or when you go to my website and download it. Then you come onto my mailing list and then I start communicating with you. That is what we call a reader magnet. Some authors like Mark Dawson, I think he's given away 2 of his books. Well, he has a lot of books. I also have another free book, Design to Win Roadmap. And when I checked it the last time, maybe over 2,000 persons have downloaded my free book. No, can you imagine if all of them were just getting it from your site? That would be 2,000 people on your mailing list. And your mailing list, each time you're putting out a book, you would already have this tribe, right? No, 61% of the successful authors who are selling a lot of books and making money, that's what they do. Right? And then almost 51% give away books, no strings attached. So they give away the book, they don't even ask for your emails. Interesting, right? Then 10.8%, 86% of those who are doing well, they have premium products like memberships, signed hardcover, which I would fall into that because I have membership groups and stuff like that. And that's how they are selling the books and bringing in the money. And then you have 23% that's doing none of that. So most of our Caribbean authors fall into that. They are doing none of that. And some people are doing none of that and being successful. But I suspect that they're running ads and doing other things. So how many books have you published? So we're seeing that it's a strategy that they use. A lot of it is the reader magnet. You're taste and buy, you're giving away something and you're building a community and you write more than one book. So that is also accounting for the success. So most of those who are successful, they had more books. It's not just one book. So you want to find out more about ALLi, you can go to, the website is on the screen, AllianceIndependentAuthors.org. All right, so authors were choosing the business model that worked best for them. So there's no one way that this thing works. So it depends on your personality. It depends on what you're most comfortable doing. So a variety of business models were being used by those who are doing well. And all of this, if you're just joining, is in relation to the income report that shows that independent authors or self-published authors are making more than traditionally published authors. On average, $12,000 749 US per year. So what are the strategies? They're using different models. Some of them are exclusive to one platform. So they may go into Amazon's KDP Unlimited. So exclusive self-publishing model. 44% of authors are doing that. Then others are publishing what we call wide. They are not just using Amazon, they're publishing on different platforms. And a good way to do that is to go through draft to digital. They're using Apple, Kobo, and aggregate distributors. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, because what if Amazon shuts down your account? So 33% were doing that. Then 12.6 1% were using the creator model. That means that they're selling books and other products directly on their own website, right? Or they're crowdfunding, and 50% of their business income comes from that. Then you had those who are licensing their rights, or the hybrid author model, to a third-party publisher or producer. And then you have the publisher model. And I think this works a lot in the Caribbean, or in my circle. We go from author to publisher, and I have a certification program for that, right? I have about 10 persons have gone through that successfully. So also publishing other authors' books for business purposes. Now that's my model there too. So in the 2% range. So in the authors are using an entrepreneurial marketing. So they're giving away reader magnets in exchange for sign up and get on their mailing list. And then they communicate with you once you're on the mailing list, right? That helps to bring visibility and build a tribe. They're doing book giveaways. So are you doing any book giveaways? You're wondering maybe why you're not selling. Are you employing any of these strategies? They're also using premium products like memberships, or like subscription, or courses related to the book. And 10% doing that. 50% are doing like giveaways, no strings attached. I fall in the 10% here, where, well, I do the reader magnets. So I do a blend of them. So you don't have to do one thing. All right. Then there are authors selling direct while growing. In this growing creator economy, their strategy is to sell books direct. Now, this works for the Caribbean. And because they're selling direct, many times your figures are not going to show up on international book sales numbers. I find this works for us, where we order author copies and we sell books at events, or we speak and sell, or the book goes in our program. And it is showing now that those, direct sales, that is working. So as well, you use different self-publishing platforms to do that. And some people, they are using Kickstarter to fund their thing and to get the money and that kind of thing. All right, so that's the income report. If you're interested in joining ALLi, 3 ways to join ALLi, or 3 ways in which ALLi can be your friend, your ally in this business, is that they help you to guide you to services so that nobody gets scammed. Because remember, it's about ethics and excellence. And so they can help you to put together the best possible tools for your team. So you could go to selfpublishingadvice.org for that. Then you can join as a member, and their campaigns. So they give you guidebooks. There is a podcast that I find very helpful, the ALLi podcast. And they have Q&As. They have episodes on marketing. They have episodes that feature you, so you can get more exposure. You're inspirational in the author story, and I got featured in that as well. There are also membership discounts that you get. And like, as I said, free guidebooks. There's a watchdog desk. If you're interested in getting a literary agent and that kind of thing, they can help you navigate some of the territory there in terms of even pursuing those kinds of deals. And of course, they have a member forum, a private member forum, where all members can come and ask questions and interact with the others. So that's the end of the report. Was anything shared that surprised you? Are you surprised that independent authors are earning more than trad authors? If so, let me know. Any questions from the report? Are you doing any of the things that the successful indie authors are doing? What's your takeaway from this presentation? We're at 35 minutes. I didn't do too badly. What's your takeaway? Or if you add the comments, then I can come back and answer them. I know it's early morning, many people are at work, but this was the best time for me, and I trust that you will catch the replay. And you can also request the 32-page report, and I can send it to you. So happy World Book and Copyright Day. Share this presentation with a friend. I'm going to air it on the podcast next week after I edit it. And do something special today. It's World Book and Copyright Day. You have in your hand, if you have a book, a wealth building legacy asset that can be passed on to your generations. And if you know how to work it, it can work for you. All right. Remember, of making many books, there is no end. So go pen it to win it and dominate entrepreneurship. Ta for now. Until next time.
Your book is the perfect spark to get the fire going in your personal life, career, business, or